minute, guys. All right. Ooh. Get started here in a minute. How's it going? But yeah, how's it going, Gerald IT? Been a hot minute since I streamed. Not gonna be a super long stream. Maybe 3 or 4 hours. I'm also testing out streaming to YouTube as well, so it's kind of fun. All right. Oh, hey, how's it going, everyone? Tinspin, C# plugin with C. So yeah, I mean, I've written native libraries that you call with like pinvoke and stuff before. Music a little more quiet? Okay. I did turn it down. I noticed it was kind of loud. Is that better? I turned it a little more. Tinspin, yeah, I mean, if you can do it where it supports Linux, you just have to make sure to compile it for Linux ahead of time, right? So like, if you compile it for Linux, Mac, Windows, Android, like you can still call it from all those platforms. Alright, let me transition. Alright, I'm actually trying to giving a test. I haven't ever tried simul streaming between Twitch and YouTube, so I'm giving that a shot. I don't think anyone's watching on YouTube, but you know, I'm just like, why not? Give it a shot. Might as well make use of my GPU being able to like being able to make use of the multi-stream stuff. Kind of neat. All right. Yeah, Tinsman, I mean, if you want an example of that, I can show you a little bit of code. Pulling hero up. All right. I mean, with C# you have p-invoke. J and I is for Java. Yeah, so I mean, all you have to do, like, if you have like a C#, or if you have like a C or C++, really C library that you built and you want to call it from C#, you know, use p-invoke, like DLL import, to define like the calling convention, the name of the DLL, and then you put you define your function here that this attribute is attached to, and from there it just pretty much works. Like, there's not, as long as it can find the DLL of that name, based on the specific platform's like search, like naming convention, then it should just kind of work. And like, and I can show you what the C side of this code looks like, right? Like, it's really just like pretty simple, right? You just have these, just basically the way you'd write any standard C function, right? Yeah, as long as you set everything up correctly, because these, like, you have to make sure that they, like, the same data types are used on both sides, right? So like here we have some structs, and these, like for example, pixel data, it's using a pointer rather than like an array necessarily, but I mean this is how you generally do arrays in C anyway for the most part. Right, so you just like allocate a buffer, and that buffer goes into this image struct, and like that's your array, right? And then on the C# side, you know, we've defined the same struct on both sides. Pixel data becomes an int pointer, which is basically just a pointer, right? Just a way of storing a pointer in like normal safe C# code. And then what you can do, you can access that through like unsafe code. I think you can also like cast it to a span, but I find the best way is like not to necessarily pass around C# function C# arrays. It's to try to work with native arrays in C# typically. That way you're not hitting into issues trying to marshal C# arrays into C unmanaged code. But with that said, it is possible to do that. You can have pinvoke automatically do that conversion. It just adds overhead and performance loss overall. So it's just about like what the level of performance you need, and like how much what you want to end up dealing with in your code. Like in this case, because this is working in Unity, like this is image loading stuff. This is all like validation stuff to make sure that like, the sizes of everything match. But in our case, we're using native arrays from C#, or not C#, but from Unity, and passing that native array back to the actual C code to have it copy into the Unity array. So like we're doing as much as we can on the like the native side here. You can also have unsafe C# code. Yes, you can. Typically, though, unsafe C# code isn't really faster, because like you have to like if let's say you're taking a C# array, right, and you want to pass that to your underlying library, right? You have to like pin that data to a specific memory address so you can take the pointer of it, right? And then that's what you use the fixed keyword for. Like you use like there's like an unsafe syntax. Oh, right here actually, fixed right here. So you basically use fixed, and then you can take that buffer. Specifically, this is an array. You can take that buffer and pass it as an array down to your underlying C code. But fixing a buffer does have overhead because it has to like copy it, I think. So like this isn't free as is. Yeah. Yeah, Juice, what I'm gonna work on today overall is I have one bug fix work in progress that I want to get finished up and pushed. That I was working on a while back, mainly related to the color profile editor. Also, there's an ad now, so I'm gonna wait till that's done. You only use arrays of 64-byte atomic structures, so I get parallelism without misses. Okay. I am. Hey, Stickhead, how's it going? It's been a hot minute. I've just been busy. So like this whole week, my goal has been to work on Clone Hero this weekend. It's just I was extremely busy yesterday. Like, oh my god. I think I was awake for like 12 or 13 hours, and out of those hours, I think about 10 or 11 of those I was in VCs with various people. It was a day yesterday, man. Your C# native was slower than Java. I mean, both of them have overheads, right? But there's things that you can do to reduce those overheads. Like, because the biggest overhead is data marshaling, right? It's converting your data into a native, something compatible with native. So like if you structure everything so that it is something that is just blittable, so they call them blittable types. So if you set everything up to use blittable types on the C# side, you're going to have fairly small overhead. The week you had was insane. Oh no. Started working in IT. Well, belated happy birthday. You are 2 years younger than me. Yeah. I mean, you're one day older than Final Head. Bro. The C# blend performance is really being pushed to the limit with spans and read-only spans everywhere, which don't have to be allocated on the heap, so it's ref structs. Yes. With that said, specifically with Unity, I have found with lots of testing that spans are actually... They're not really faster in Unity, just because of how mono works. At best, they're like similar in performance to arrays. But there is a few cases where using spans make a lot of sense, in my opinion. Specifically, I've found that like iterating and indexing on Unity native arrays is very slow. And so the only way to get like good performance out of them is to convert them to spans. Just things like that. So like there's still cases where using spans results in better performance, so. And also not having to allocate stuff. It's like overall, I think spans are still a benefit inside of Unity, but they're not always necessarily a performance win. Is basically my view on them. Like it's going to be situational currently, whether or not you want to use spans. However, if you're doing something in .NET Core, spans are definitely faster than arrays. Like in like most every case that I've tested. Yeah. So, geez, Clone Hero technically uses .NET Standard 2.1 in Unity at the moment. But that's like the Unity. You have two options. You can use .NET Framework or .NET Standard 2. Well, older versions it was .NET Standard 2, and they recently upgraded it to .NET Standard 2.1. And so we upgraded Unity at some point, so now we have that available. The cat is staring at me. Hi, Ripley. Alright. I looked over, I'm like, I see a cat. But, I don't know. Overall, Unity, you can get good performance. It just takes more effort, right? Like, I would say, like, badly optimized code in .NET Core is probably similar performance as well-optimized code in Mono, right? Just from what I've seen, right? So. Geo, thank you for the resub. Well, I think you resub. Thank you for the sub. Yeah, there's a resub. Going pretty good. Going pretty good. I mean, it is an issue, but I don't know if it's a like huge widespread issue necessarily. I'd say it's more just a few bad eggs, right? But it's definitely something that we need to consider, I think. Like, it matters more for stuff like leaderboards and whatnot. Got having performance problem with both GDScript and C# because of their API. I am well aware. I followed that whole ordeal pretty closely, and I find it really kind of dumb. Like, I don't know. It's like, yes, having quality code is like nice, but when it comes at the expense of performance, I don't think that's like great. Like, I think for games specifically, because they're so performance sensitive, why is there no game engines with scripting thread off of the rendering thread? Because it's hard. Like, multi-threaded game loops are not easy. And typically what those look like are job systems, right? Like, look at the C# job system in Unity. That's what a multi-threaded scripting game loop is going to look like ideally, right? Which Unity has, but it's the way they have it implemented. You still need a main thread hook to run those jobs, unfortunately. What's annoying is that I know under the hood their job system is more flexible, but on the C# side, they impose the limitation that you can only schedule jobs on the main thread, whereas internally their systems supports scheduling jobs from other like job threads, which would be very nice to have, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, like HTTP, like, oh my god, like having to transform everything into text is just a huge shit fest. Like, just like the overhead to convert what is binary data back to text, back to binary data, like if you have a bunch of internal API, it's quite a bit. Like, it's not insignificant, especially if you're dealing with like garbage collected languages. And so I don't know. And especially most of the trends, like the APIs are all going to be feeding JSON, right? So the cat screaming. Sorry, I'm reading some Discord stuff. Not really. I'm going back and forth between answering questions that some people had in the chat here and then reading some stuff in Discord about some stuff going on in the background that I don't think we should make public yet, but we'll see. I probably have to let my cat out of the room. He is sitting at the door screaming. So I'll be right back. Well, we'll see when it. Well, not yet. The app server, I know a little about Conservancy, make 3D, and then script for example Java. Personally, I wouldn't use Java. I don't know. Like, I have seen many people try to interface with Java to do things native, and it always doesn't. I don't know. It seems like it has a ton of overhead, but maybe that's changed in the last 5 years. I don't know. I get the impression that the overhead was higher than C Sharp's native P invoke stuff, and especially if you're embedding C Sharp in C++, it's fairly low overhead. Just look at Unity, like their API calls into their engine are extremely low overhead, but so I can't think of an engine. Yep. I just wanted to say why I'm not quite as focused on code as I should be. It's okay. It's a lot, yeah. LWJGL seems to work okay for the most solo game in the world. I mean, okay, but there's way more games that don't use it. I would argue. I'd say Minecraft is an exception. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Java. Yeah, no, they literally just they rewrote it to C++. That's how they made it multi-platform. So I don't know. I'm fairly sure it's, I don't know, whatever. But regardless, they rewrote it to native code. Let's rephrase it that way. I need to stop paying attention to Discord for now. Alright. Yeah, cool. Programming. What I want to work on is fixing the color profile stuff. Because there's a ton of them. Like, we just don't see the point of releasing them all. Plus, most of them, the way they are stored is in a format that is not easy to separate them from each other. So it just made sense for us to take them down and not make them available anymore. Because, like, it costs us money to keep them up, is the other thing. So... Yep, pretty much. We're not losing anything. The code is still there. I'll show you. So basically I was adding this button. It's hue saturation value. Alright. Trying to figure out what I changed to fix this bug. I don't even remember what it was. It's been so long. It was something weird, I remember. Was it a script change, maybe? Hex color. Oh, it was a script change, I think. See, the reason we didn't put an RGB slider is that it's very difficult to get a specific color you want with RGB sliders, because it's very non-intuitive. Like... Because, like, here, if you want a specific color, you find the color, you adjust the saturation, and then the brightness. Like, it's a pretty intuitive system, in my opinion. Whereas RGB, you're just like having to like, oh, I need yellow. Oh, let me adjust these two sliders, and you're just like, oh, if I need Oh, I want it to be less bright. Oh, well, let me adjust these 3 sliders. Like, it's a pain in the ass to get specific colors and specific, like, things with RGB sliders. I mean, possibly. That would be a fair thing to do. I assume the worry is a conversion from art. What do you mean the conversion? Like it's a lossless conversion. I don't understand. Like you map the RGB to this, and then you do the reverse to get back to RGB. It's not that hard. Well, it can be hard, but hold on. Yes. That is very true. Yeah, so it just uses this HSL to RGB function. And there's also like the reverse, but I don't know. Not. The reason we don't have RGB, or the reason why we don't have alpha channel is because a lot of things are additively blended, and with additive blending, alpha does the same thing as color. Because if you have smaller alpha, that's just the same as having a less intense color. So it just makes no sense to add it. So if you want it to look more transparent, just make it darker. Which is what this does. So like, I don't know. Just the hex code in that menu? That's broken right now. That's part of the stuff that I need to fix. That's the bug I'm gonna be getting to in a minute. Because the input box is, there was like 3 or 4 different bugs in the color profile editor. Yes, there's a plan to get a new build out as soon as we can. It's just we've been busy doing other stuff. We're in the process of setting up automated builds though, so that it'll be much easier to get builds out for us. So that we'll just be able to like after each commit, it could just automatically build the game and make releases basically. Sickheads, it is already in the issue tracker. Actually, that's not it. That's the one I'm working on right now. So there's this one. There's also this one. That's that one where you can't edit. The one I just showed you. It doesn't work. So yeah, it's there. I'm aware. I'm aware about it. Coffee Duck, thanks for the follow. Yeah, no, it's been in the game for a long time. Sorry, I'm between like several conversations right now. Didn't realize this was starting the game. Can you export and import color profiles? Color profiles are stored on disk in an INI file. So it's in the custom colors folder. There will be an INI file for each color profile, and you just copy it. Let me get rid of all that. They do. And I actually like U-Track personally. I like it more than like Jira for the most part, which I have used Jira before. Not a huge fan. Yeah. I don't know, we've tried a lot of things to manage the Clone Hero issues over the years, and this so far has been what has stuck the longest. I think Yarg started using it too, probably because Nathan. I would assume. Well, I mean, yes, but also we've been trying to get a bug fix release out since V1 came out, but we've just been doing other things, so I only end up working on it maybe like a couple times a month at this point. Just trying to get things like just mainly bug fixes, right? So just like the bug fixes we have are like Well, the bugs that we have are pretty major bugs before we can get this release out, unfortunately. Like very much they break shit really badly bugs. Um, so yeah, that's primarily where we're at. Yeah. Um, this should be public. Um, not all those issues are open. Like that's just the full issue list. If you want to see the specific open issues, um, which server did you get banned from? The Clone Hero server or a different server? Oh, I mean. I don't know your specific situation, so technically I do own the server, so but the Discord staff basically run it day to day. I don't really involve myself with the day to day of the server too much. I mean, I don't view it that way personally, but like everything that happens gets logged and tracked and specific reasons for everything, so it's like yeah. Keep in mind, like, we have to follow Discord's terms of service and all of that. Like, it's when you're dealing with a large server, there's a lot that goes on. Yeah, so I can say the reason you were banned if you want me to, but I'm not going to. I don't know. I'm pretty sure, like, you know, that's like I said, it's like there's so much shit that happens. Like, it's gonna be like I don't know. I don't really want to go into it personally. Um, but yeah. And if you're here just to complain about your ban from yesterday, this is not the place to do that. Just saying. All right. Sounds good. There we go. Resource. That's what I told him. I said I don't deal with the day-to-day. And if you're only here to complain about your band, like, it's not the place. What was this called? It was called Colored Outline Shader. Okay. I was just replying to Juiced to say what I don't know if you heard the discussion before. So I need to edit this a bit. Oh, what's the bug that needs fixing? So right now what I'm doing is replacing. So okay, let me open up existing Clone Hero to show what I am trying to fix. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to open. Okay. All right. Let me turn it down and then all right. So, color profile editor. The problem here is you can't type in this box. You can't create a new profile, so it is very much broken. The other thing, I was changing this icon to something more useful, because just having this be equal, like, it's not very intuitive to be like, okay, what does this button do? And so I'm also changing the icon on this button to make it more obvious what the button does. Juiced. It's broken in the PTB, not the not V1. This intuition that Windows won't survive higher electricity prices since nobody in their right mind. I mean, keep in mind, like, I live in a very electricity cheap area. And like you look at like there's many countries and areas where electricity is very expensive. Um so it's like currently um and I would say that's less down to Windows and more down to hardware. Um which if electricity is a concern for people, I mean you can get laptops that don't draw a lot of energy. The main draw of energy on things is going to be idle power usage, even on big gaming PCs. Like, you're not going to be gaming most of the time. Like, assuming you leave your PC on, um, your computer is going to be idle 90% of the time, right? If you don't leave it on, then it's going to be off. So, like, electricity would have to get insanely expensive for that to matter. Like, and I can definitely see electricity prices going up as we move to electric cars. That is definitely a thing. Um, but also I can definitely see electricity prices being more chaotic, more so than like expensive. Because, you know, as like traditional fossil fuel power production moves away from that into more renewable sources of energy, you're going to have more variation on energy production because it's not necessarily consistent. You're going to have, you know, wind is going to be variable based on the weather. Same with solar. Solar is going to be dependent based on cloud cover. Um, you've got you've also got like hydroelectric, which is very minuscule overall, but that's I don't know if that makes too big of a deal these days, but I don't know. Hydro is not changing, so it exists. Going electricity. Keep in mind, Tin, like coal power is going away because it's more expensive to produce than solar and wind currently. Regardless of why that is, whether that's, you know, government incentives or whatnot, but um, like part of the reason is that coal is like just more expensive. It's a larger operation. Um, it requires ongoing materials to run, whereas like solar, it's something you stick outside and you're good for 30 years until you have to tear it down when it stops producing. Um, so I don't know. They're scamming people who have solar. I mean, in a lot of places, I'll say like solar installers are not the greatest of things. I've heard lots of like solar install scams and people going door to door getting people terrible deals on shit. Like, I think that's happening like everywhere. Um, Solar can't handle margins. What do you mean? Turn the music back on here. This company has been fucking everyone over here for years. Yeah, here in Texas, it's kind of an odd situation for electricity, but um, I don't really feel like explaining it. I don't know how it is everywhere else, but if you just look up Texas electricity, like, what do they call it? Deregulation or whatever, I think. You could probably find something that covers about how the Texas electric grid works. Okay. I know. Yeah. Well, it's not even necessarily about us being isolated. It's that, like, how the actual, like, production to consumption and how the money is allocated between parties works. Like, in our electricity grid, like, you as a consumer, there's like at least three different types of parties involved. You have your regional grid operator, which actually maintains the lines. You have power production people. So that's like power grids, etc. And then you have your quote power company that is basically just like buying electricity on an open market and selling it to you. So it basically they'll get in contact with a electricity production facility and be like, okay, we will pay you for this percentage of your capacity, and then they sell that percentage onto their customers. But it's like that's facilitated through like a marketplace. It's kind of weird. I'm not gonna lie. But I don't know how it works everywhere. But because of that, like you just go, okay, I want to switch power company, then you just go buy your electricity through someone else. Even though your lines never change, they're always connected to your regional grid operator, which here in the Houston area is CenterPoint. You don't buy energy from CenterPoint, you pay a fee to them, technically. So they get their money through the fees they collect off of your electricity provider that you buy the electricity from, and then they maintain the lines. It kind of convoluted, to be honest. Interesting. But yeah, and then if you pay attention to the freeze stuff that happened a couple years ago, you have ERCOT, like the Electricity Reliability Council of Texas, I think. They kind of manage the whole system. So it's certainly a thing. I will say we have cheap electricity here, but whether or not it's the most reliable, that's obviously known. Like, my power actually went out last night, so fun. I think, or maybe it was the day before, I don't know. It went out for like 5 minutes because it was kind of stormy. Yeah, all of our power here is on over. Well, I wouldn't say all of it, but most of it is on like poles. Yeah, I mean, it works the same way here, kind of, but instead of they buy certificates, on the open marketplace, they'll only buy from producers doing 100% renewable energy. Even though your energy probably isn't coming from a renewable power plant. Unless you live near that. And I don't know of any solar power plants around here, personally. Or wind. However, if you go towards southern Texas, towards like Corpus Christi, South Padre Island, out that direction, oh boy, get ready, you're gonna see wind turbines everywhere. It's quite the sight. You'll be driving at night, and all you see is synchronized blinking lights across the entire horizon from all the wind turbines. It's kind of insane. Like, there's parts of Texas where they have so much wind turbines that the electricity price goes negative for a lot of the time because they can't move it far enough, quick enough. So they pay. You have to like you get paid to use electricity or whatever on the open market anyway, which is like wild. Like, I don't know. Keep in mind, like, the U.S. is a very large. It's a very large. Um, like, and people are very spread out. Compared to like Europe. Like, Texas is bigger than the UK. Just to put that into perspective. And most of Texas is very rural, like very. Um, so like saying, "Oh, Texas has its own power grid," they're crazy. But it's like the UK is gonna have their own power grid. Are they crazy? Maybe. I mean, I'm sure they have interconnects with other areas in Europe, but and who knows with uh, Brexit. I mean, Texas also has interconnects to other part of the U.S., but they're just not large. Like, they're capacity limited. But they're high voltage DC connections. So it looks like Great Britain and Ireland do have something of their own things. Yeah. $63 gigawatts. That's 2005. Well, I'm curious how much power is being used. Interesting. So they are importing more than they export. 25 terawatt hours for their grid, and then we are off on a topic. So currently we're looking at 42 megawatt hours, but that's like on demand at any given moment. That's total energy. That's not like... You see, this is megawatts, and this is gigawatt hours. So this is like moment-to-moment peak usage, and this is like total energy usage. I'm just curious the size of the Great Britain versus... Okay, so Texas is currently using more power than Great Britain. By a little bit. 42,000 megawatts versus... Or wait, this is... Yeah, so 42 gigawatts versus 35 gigawatts. Very interesting. How's it going? Doing all right myself. Isn't that low for a country? Well, keep in mind, Texas is twice as large as Great Britain. And also, another thing to keep in mind, that's like momentary power usage. Like this light bulb would probably be using 10 watts, right? That's just a power rating at a moment in time. I think is it per second? I don't remember, but that's just like, okay, you're pulling 10 watts from the wall, right? Well, if you scale that up to the power grid, okay, the power grid is pulling 40 gigawatts. Now, if you're going to turn that into a measurement of energy over time, that's when you take like gigawatt hours, right? That's like, this is how many gigawatts across the hour, right? So it's just different time measurements, right? So like if you look at over the course of a month or whatever, you would say, okay, the power grid did 100 terawatt hours or something. Whereas in any given moment, you're going to be pulling like, okay, 40 gigawatts, if that makes sense. I believe so, yeah. If I remember correctly as well. So if you had that one lamp running for 24 hours, then that's 24 watt hours. Yeah, it's basically watts. The number of hours is the watt hours. So like if you have a 30 watt thing and it runs for an hour, that is 30 watt hours. So yeah, that is correct. All right. Yeah. So if you wanted to take an average of what that would be in terms of terawatts, right? You would take the number of hours in a year and divide it by that. So you'd go, let's say, 52 weeks in a year times 7 days. Oh, fucking 365 days. Whatever. 365 times 24 hours. So you divide that by 117 times 1,000. That would give us megawatt hours. Divided by. So yeah, that would be 13 megawatts on average per second. Or per minute? Oh, fucking, I don't know. 13 gigawatt, whatever. So that's like way less than Texas. Probably. Kilowatt years. Kilowatt years. I would really be willing to bet right now is probably a low for usage in Texas right now. Let me see. Texas peak energy usage. Oh, we got a peak solar in record recently. That's fun. D24. I want to say we hit another peak usage this year already. Yeah, the peak was 78. So 78 gigawatt hours earlier in January. So that's what the peak. So we're like half of peak usage right now. Yeah. I don't know, like when you think about it, it sounds stupid to say that for Texas to have its own power grid, but also it's pretty fucking large and already much larger than other countries' power grids. You know, like when you look at the numbers, it's not as insane as it sounds, I guess, when you say, "Oh, why does Texas have its own power grid?" I don't know. It's just like the US is just that damn big. Like, it's hard to compare stuff here to other countries in Europe. Yeah, exactly. I think other than Texas, I think there's two other power grids. I think there's like the East and then the West and Texas in the middle, and there are DC interconnects between both of them, though they're not super high capacity. Actually, I think there may be 3 DC interconnects now that I think about it, but regardless. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I did remind me of something else that I do find interesting about the Texas power grid. Last I looked, about 50% of the electricity generation is renewable. It's like, despite all the politics, doesn't seem terrible. I don't know what it's like for Europe, but let's see what Europe is. In 2022, renewable energy represented 23% of consumed electricity in the EU. Okay, here we go. So, Texas leads the nation in both energy production and energy consumption. In 2021, Texas produced more energy than any other state, accounting for almost 12% of the nation's total net energy generation. During the same year, Texas was the largest producer of oil, natural gas, and wind-powered energy, 26% of the nation. But this was in 2021. I think it's better in 2020. Like, okay, if we go back to that ERCOT page, it'll tell you what percentage is renewable. So I really do think it's interesting, all the like stats they give you on their page. There's basically no solar right now, which makes sense, I guess. It is early in the morning still, and this does look like it's lagging behind like an hour. But yeah, right now we are looking at probably like a good like half, well maybe even more than half, is on wind only. Because 25 gigawatt hours of wind production right now, and we're, yeah, right here. Okay, yeah, so right now literally most of the energy in Texas is being ran off of like wind and solar, with natural gas, coal, and nuclear having about 30% total. So it's interesting. Yeah, no, wind is huge in Texas, though. It's kind of insane. Will this bug fix version be the final version of Phone Hero? I don't know yet. We don't know. We'll see. It depends on a few things, if it is or not. Depends on like potential bugs and whatnot. So I don't think we're gonna promise for sure that this is the final, like, forever final version. I mean, there's always a chance of needing to do another bug fix release in the future. So it all just depends on like what happens, like, you know. Yeah, no, I agree. Like, I know people are afraid of it, but also everything that's gone wrong was because of like just bad engineering, effectively. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, watch this. This was from 11 years ago, but this is still the case. When you're driving over in this area where they have the wind turbines, it's freaky as hell. Because like they all blink in synchronicity. Like like you'll be driving down a road at night and then all around you is just blinking wind turbines everywhere. You've seen this in person before, yeah. It's just like freaky. Just like what the fuck? Yep, exactly. All right. Back to why I opened this in here. I needed to resize the document a little bit. Resize document. I don't want to actually resample it though. Resize canvas. I'm gonna do 72 by 72. Center it. Where's this? Menu assets, UI assets. Okay. Menu assets, UI assets. UI. Color wheel. Yes. Well, that is not what I need. Okay, that's... Oops. Nice. All right. Um, The SNG encoder decoder they wrote in Python. Huh. I mean, why not, right? I mean, it was made to be pretty simple to encode and decode. It's cool. Oh god, I hate struct unpack. It's like the worst, just the most annoying way to deal with binary parsing you could possibly invent. Like, I hate it so much. Oh man. So I guess props to this guy, because, man. Is there any advantage using an SNG file instead of an extracted folder? The main, I don't know. I mean, in terms of like scanning time and in game, there's not really a huge advantage in performance. It's maybe slightly slower actually, but realistically, it's not a. There's not much of a performance difference that is really noticeable, I would say. The main advantage here, a lot, I would say, comes with charters more so. In that, like, charters have been having lots of issues with, like, Google Drive and stuff. So, inventing a specific format to hold these charts kind of protects them a little bit. So, that was kind of the original driving force behind the format. But it is also easier to use for people. Like, you just download the thing and copy it into your song folder. You don't have to extract files or anything, like, yeah. So the problem with zip files, which this is something that came up during the development of this, one of the original proposals was just using like a zip file basically. But the problem with zip files is that you have to, okay. The problem with implementing support for zip files in a C# program is that there's no good tools that let you kind of like go through a zip file without having to extract it. Zip file, the format does allow like some streaming functionality, but there's just not really any good libraries for C# to do it. And it's going to be slower because you're having to extract. So it's really about performance. Because I think it's deflate, that the deflate algorithm that Zip uses. Regardless, it's not the fastest thing in the world, just in general having to extract something. And we want to be able to stream the audio directly from disk without having to extract it. And the SNG format allows this, right? You don't, like, there's only one thing that's required to be extracted from the SNG file. And that is the video files, but that's just because of the limitations with Unity. Well, yes, you could extract at scan time. It would drastically slow down song scanning, which SNG files don't. Song scanning performance, I would say, is within margin of error of not having SNG files. Part of that was being able to optimize it, and putting a decent amount of time to ensure that the performance was not worse. But yeah. Like, honestly, song scanning performance is the key driver behind a lot of this, because that's where the performance matters most. Like, if it's something you do before you load, while you're loading a song, whatever, that's not a big deal. Like, you're not going to be waiting that long, but like maybe at most 30 milliseconds, 40 milliseconds, whatever. That's not a huge deal. But when you're doing that times 30,000 songs, well, your song scan is going to go from taking like 10 minutes to taking hours. Right? Like, that is where the performance is most critical. That is true. But it's, I don't know. I still don't see it as being ideal, especially if, like, let's say the main issue I would see would be like if someone's running low on disk space, right? You have to extract it. Now you have 2 copies of it on disk, right? So, you know, you'll have to extract it, delete the zip file, but that's still a potential thing where, hey, you've caused their disk to run out of space. Especially with charts that are large. Like if you have like a gigabyte of audio in a chart, which is not unheard of, and you extract it, well, you know, it's just, it adds more hassle. Sage, thank you for the follow. Welcome. What's some other advantages that SNG has? One of the nice things about it is that metadata is just like there. So like if you just open the file, the metadata is at the top of the file. So it's like, it's pretty easy to get at the song metadata. There's no song.ini in SNG files because of that. The song.ini data gets converted to a metadata header within the format, which makes it like, as long as you can understand the format, the file format, it's not too bad. It saves the file, then it's easy to copy around, share, read, upload to drive. Yeah, that's also true. And like, keep in mind, this format is not built to be something specific to Clone Hero, right? We tried to build it to be as generic as possible, so like the whole community ecosystem can make use of it. And that's why we made the format like information public. So like Yarg is already supporting it. The tools, like Inoxite, his tools support it now. Obviously Clone Heroes, the PTB, I should have support for it, though it's not out in a final release yet. I know there's another game potentially that was looking at adding support for it. Yep, I just mentioned that Yard can load it. Like, we built it to be usable across like any situation. Like, it's basically just a simple file container that obfuscates the files a little bit to make it a little bit less. It's not really an encryption, but it just obfuscates the files a little bit, which is intended to help with like Google Drive and stuff. And which you could argue isn't necessary, but considering the what spawned the creation of the format, I think it makes sense. Even so, the algorithm that you use to de-obfuscate, quote, let's say obfuscate, the file content, it's very simple. Like 2 lines of code maybe 3 or 4 at most, and you've got it deobfuscated. So like here in this code, this is the code that does the deobfuscation basically. Like it's very simple, so that's not a huge deal in my opinion. Made sure it was a simple algorithm and easy to implement, while also like randomizing a decent amount. I think it'll per file it'll randomize the data in a file in 256 byte chunks effectively. So like every 256 bytes the data that randomizes things repeats basically. Yes, there is. It's the tool that I wrote. Can convert your whole library in one go, including audio encoding. I need to probably release another update to it, but I do want to look at. There's a few bug fixes I want to do that Geo has come across, but yeah, this SNG CLI that I've written. And then there's the usage of it here. In folder, out folder. You can also resize your album art, compress it to JPEG, compress the audio to Opus. You can have it exclude video files if you want. So there's options to skip any unknown files if you need that. You can set the album art resize, like details. Like there's just a lot of options here. You can also control how many threads it uses in case you don't want it using your entire CPU, which it will by default if you let it. It also has like a status bar at the bottom. You can disable that if you don't want it shown up, which is useful for like if you're running it through a command, like through a script or something. But yeah, I think there's a couple of issues. What was the issue that was fixed last? Yeah, the last issue I fixed was just decoding invalid files, added some validation onto it. That is kind of hilarious. That's really good. Sorry about that. I'm responding to some people about something. I'll be working on some stuff here in a minute. All right. Back to doing stuff for a while. Alright. Okay, let me look at the... Save this. Go to the editor and then let me see how these are set up. Might just be my dad. What? I don't understand. Sorry, I'm just dealing with some stuff on Discord still. They're popular on Discord today? What? Where going on there? Let's see. Oh, I'm pop. Oh, I misread that. Yeah, it's some discussion that about something that happened yesterday. No, no. Nothing about that guy. Something completely different. Hello, Victor. How's it going? Where did that? Let me just go to tree assets, scripts, audio. State pending your release. Alright. Hell yeah. I'm glad that you're doing well. All right. Okay, so I need to be able to change the material color here. Or what is it called? Material outline color. Imagine you redeemed Hydrate. Yeah, I should probably go get me some water to be able to do that. I could go for some water. There you go. Well, I will be back in a moment. Actually, Back. There we go. I have hydrate. How's it going, GH Nerd and I always forget how to say your name, Meloria. At the bed. Nice, nice. Or Melly. Sure. Yeah, I woke up at like, I've been waking up at like 4 in the morning lately. It's kind of how my, like that, but the but it's Meliora. Okay. Gotcha. Makes sense. Cool. Mostly afternoon for you lately, yeah. My sleep schedule is never consistent. At most, it might stay sane for like a week or two. And then it goes all out nuts crazy, and then until it wraps around. Usually I end up staying up too long, and then my sleep schedule, like, I'll just like skip a day or something. Or I'll sleep too much in one day to fix it. One of the two. Kind of random, whichever happens. But, no, well, I can show y'all what I did recently. This last weekend, I had done the Global Game Jam, which is something I do yearly. You're not the only one. Nope, not at all. Yeah, no, last weekend I did the Global Game Jam, which something I do at the end of every January every year. I've been doing it since 2018. And it's an in-person game jam, which is fun. So basically you have 48 hours to do a game. And I slept all of 7 hours in 48 hours. So after that, I've kind of stuck to the same sleep schedule since. I've been going to sleep like 7 or 8 in the afternoon and waking up at like 4 in the morning. So, yeah. But this was the game we made, my team made in that weekend. I gotta find the main menu screen though. Here it is. It's not something we've really thought about adding, but it's like it wouldn't if we added something like that. Let me pause it so the audio is not very loud. The main issue with that is like it would have to be like you change the difficulty and you restart. We can't do like dynamic difficulty changing. Yeah, no, Groove Glider was cool. I like that. I still like that thing. I think for what it was fun. The other issue with changing difficulties when pausing is online. Like we'd have to disable the feature online and probably in multiplayer. It just wouldn't be a great experience the way Clone Hero is. Because anytime anyone would want to change your difficulty, you'd have to restart the song. So not ideal. Yeah, this was our the theme was make me laugh, so toilet humor, I guess. I died. This was, like I said, this is the game jam game we made. Yeah, basically they wanted to make like a early Zelda inspired kind of game. I'm streaming. Oh no, I'm getting killed. I'm about to die.
Hello.
It's actually kind of difficult, but yeah, that was a Game Jam game. Good morning. You sniff.
Need enrichment.
Well, it's 10 o'clock. I have to be here at 1 for that meeting. I'm streaming right now. I mean...
You don't want to take your wife on a brunch date? Okay.
Well...
Call my parents.
Lame. No.
Here's a duck.
I've been given a duck. You can live over there.
Do you not want to go on a brunch date?
Oh,
Or do you want to go on a brunch date?
I'm just busy. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I mean, I could eat, but
That's what the brunch date is. You go eat and then you go home.
I know. But I don't know where we'd go eat. At home brunch. Go.
What?
Someone said go. The duck squeaks.
You didn't know it did that.
Huh? You didn't know it did that?
Where that came from?
I know where it came from. Would you like me to tell you where it came from?
Where?
There's this company, when you order their 3D printer parts, they send you a duck in the box.
Oh!
And this is, I have a couple of these.
Oh my god.
I don't know where the others are, but I know I have at least 2. It's a company called Big Tree Tech. They always put little ducks in the box.
Do you live in a house of friends?
That's too far.
Do you ever go to First Watch?
That's too expensive. It's like $50 if you want to go eat there, I swear. It's ridiculous. I don't think we have $50. Right? No, that's fun. I'm pretty sure if you look up their products, they even have the duck in the picture. Their website will load. Let's find...
Wake up to a cloudy day, dark rolls in and it starts to rain. Staring out to the cage like walls, time goes by and the shadows crawl.
Trying to see if there's a picture of the packaging.
Got no job, mom pays my bills. Text and exes get my fills.
No, they don't.
Let's Netflix chills. World's out there singing the blues. 20 more dead on the evening news. Think to myself, really, what's the use? I'm just like you, I was born to lose.
Oh no, rubber duck gate. I don't know. Oh yeah, there you go. There's a picture of the packaging with the duck. When? Now? Us? Or with your parents?
Now.
That's even farther
My
than...
mom's.
Okay,
Enrichment is not my
can we go later? Like, this afternoon? Okay. If you want to go this afternoon, we can go. Just not right now. Go now. Well, Hold on, give me a sec. My chat is telling me to go. So it's gonna take about 11. Probably about an hour and a half if we went, which means we would get back. Because I basically need to be back home by 1. That's why I didn't want to go right now. I know. Okay, how about this, Ariel? Can you wait 30 minutes? Alright, we'll leave in 30 minutes. Your girlfriend sponsored this message. Alright. That'll give me a little bit of time to finish up what I'm doing, and then we'll go. Because I still have like, I want to fix the stupid bug with the color profile editor today. That was like the main thing I wanted to do. Yep, for sure. Catch you later. I've already fixed that one. There's like 2 or 3 different issues going on with the color profile editor. I've already fixed the one that doesn't allow you to enter a name. I changed this button to have an icon to show that this is actually for a color picker, because the default like icon is just like an equal sign, which makes no sense to me. So I put an icon there to indicate, hey, you click this button to change the color, and then I put a glow around it. Yeah. And then now once you click the button, you can't actually type the color in. Here, let me hide this so I can show you what the next bug is. So all I need to do is fix the color, so you can type in the color when you click in that menu. And oh right, there's also an occasional bug where it doesn't let you open the color profile menu that I haven't quite figured out yet, where I get a null reference exception. But if I keep trying, it just kind of works. So, oh, actually it's way broken. Cool. Yeah. The other problem is it just seems to randomly break when I'm testing, which is fun. Like, I haven't changed much, and it's like, cool. Okay, let me find what's throwing an exception. Color picker, out. Okay. Oh, okay, I see the problem. That's easy to fix. Yeah, basically just trying to fix issues here is all. I don't think it'll take me too long. Okay, so I need to get the image and the material. I'm already getting the image. And children. So what is the current child here? This is new item template. So So it's gonna be getting the image item, so that's 1. This should be 0, 1. And then that would be 2. So I need to new item 1 dot oh shit, no. Input field, where's image? Right, it's down here. Whoa, no.
These voices trying to kill me. They've been bringing me low. Words I don't understand. More than man. These voices trying to kill me. And they're waiting for that time I give in. The waters come crashing over my head. A melody only heard, never said. How bless my soul, keeping devils down.
Set color, is it outline color? Actually, I don't know. It is outline color.
But they don't follow you down.
Sure, that's fine. Okay, so let me comment this out. And then
It's waiting for that time I give in. The waters come crashing over my head. A melody only heard, never said. How bless my soul, keeping devils down below. Till the evening comes scratching again.
This should return black or white, right? I think so, yeah. Okay. So if I then do alright, contrast color, contrast color. Okay, so this should theoretically work. Fix that issue. Color picker outline. Oh. Okay. 25 minutes left, right? Okay, so that is working. Oh, there's an issue to fix. I'd actually, what the hell? Why is this an issue now? Has this ever been an issue? Hold on. I want to look at the original. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I've never noticed that before. That seems bad. Like I'm saying, like, man, the color profile editor got some extra jank somehow, and I don't know how. I didn't touch it personally. Yeah, it's fine here. My God, okay. Like, I don't even know where it broke in the PTB. No, it's not even in the PTB where it's that broken. It's like extra broke. Like here, let me stash my changes real quick to see if it's what I have or if it's like if it's the changes that I made or if it's already in the repo like that. Stash. That's what I'm about to see. Because I don't know. All right. All right. Let's see if this is still broken or not. 'Cause I know I won't be able to edit profiles, but it does not have this sorting issue at least. So that is Right. That's fine. That's fine. All right. Bring back these changes, and then discard.
Slip to the void, to the dark, to the fall. Crawl to the light, you should never come this way to test the hands of fate. You don't belong here. Peel back the skin, close your eyes, once more. To the abyss, but be warned. You feel what you become. My God, what have you done? You don't belong here. But it's all in the way you touch and you obey tonight. But it's all in the way you touch and you obey
Sorry, back in Discord again. Okay. I'd like to figure out what's causing that, the profile editor. There we go. What's this getting set to? Oh god. Okay, so this is just getting set to the wrong... Okay, that makes sense. So I'm just not gonna do that then. I'm gonna bring back the outline, prior outline code. Okay, we go back into item, default button, set the material to default. What would it be? Sprites default, perhaps? Oh no, it's just none material. Okay, none. Add outline. Just leave it at black. That's fine. Oh. Public file editor. Okay, it's still having that issue. What did I set the material to here? Damn it. Why is it doing this? is this getting set to the material? Colored outline. Oh. Well, there we go. There we go. SGF, okay. That's still broken. Okay, let me delete those things and then I'll probably head out for now. Shaders, let me delete the shader, and then it should be colored outline shader delete. All right. All right. Well, that's it for now. Alright, well, I don't know when the next time I'll be able to stream is. Probably... well... I don't know. I may or may not be able to stream later tonight. We'll see. Because I do want to work more on Clone Hero. Today. Because I need to get some bug fixes in, but I don't know if I'll stream that or not. Depends on things, how things go later for various other things. I spent a lot of today in Discord anyway, because reasons. Anyways, I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.
you're paying for food, you know.